We're going to do some speaker reconing. Some of the stuff that I use, you're going to see Q-tips, a small bottle of MEK, that's methyl ethyl ketones. If you don't want to deal with that, you could probably use 90% isopropyl alcohol. Nice soft bristle brush, lots of paper towels. Get yourself a magic marker someplace. You might need to mark some wires. An applicator to use with the glue. I like a syringe. You can also get that little squeezy bottle sometimes in like hair color or even the dollar store. Some crazy glue, a razor knife, an X-Acto knife is handy, a couple of screwdrivers, wood glue. Elmer's works pretty good. General wood glue works pretty good. They're both water soluble when they're not dry. That's a good thing for what we're going to do. You're also going to see skewers, barbecue skewers, like shish kebab kind of skewers. I use them a lot. They're very multi-purpose. That is about it on the materials, more or less. For this demo, we're going to use a Bang Olufsen speaker. You may have to pry gently around the frame. Gentle is the key. You do not want to bend the speaker frame. The next step is to clean all of the old foam off of the speaker. Do not damage the center cone. More than likely you will not have to remove the dust cap in the center. Take your razor knife and just proceed in scraping the foam off of the spider. The frame is the spider. And just go around it. Avoid damaging the paper cone, because you will regret that if you do. You know, nice and easy. You're not in a road race. And just go all the way around and remove all of this foam. Once the bulk of the foam is removed from the spider, then we're going to start removing it from the paper cone. I'm holding it rather awkwardly so I could film it, but we're just going to take our fingers and gently peel it and rub it away with your fingers at first, getting all of this deteriorated foam off. And it's really not taking much of an effort to do it at all. And go all the way around and take all of that off. Once most of that is off, then you're going to take either a razor knife. You're either going to take a razor knife or the back of an X-Acto and gently scrape the remainder of the foam off. Do not cut the paper cone. The key word here is gentle. I'm going to gently scrape that down to paper. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and I want to be careful not to damage the cone. Alright, now as you can see, I've got most of that off. You really want to work with it slowly and gently for a while and get as much of that off as possible, because if there's any debris left on that, it's going to cause the new cone, the new foam surround not to stick properly, or be bubbly, or, you know, just not good in general. So clean it up good. I'm going to go around that one more time. Now that most of that, actually all, now that it's all clear, all of the debris is off, I'm going to start to apply MEK around the outside edge to get the old glue off. If you do use MEK, and you'll notice I have it in an old spice bottle. I buy it by the gallon, and I use small amounts. A little goes a long way. It has a lot of fumes. Keep a window open if you don't want to use MEK. Like I said, isopropyl alcohol, get the 90%, that works good. If you do use MEK, be careful with it, because it destroys a lot of plastics. If you drop it, such as the plastic your remote control might be made out of. If you drop it on that, it's going to melt it. I highly advise not splashing it on your cell phone. I haven't done it personally, but I would definitely advise against it. You can see some of it's coming off. That's not really my goal. My goal is to soak that glue with MEK, and you're going to let it sit for a minute or two, because as it softens, you'll be able to more easily scrape the glue off. And the longer it sits moist with the MEK, the easier it will be to do. And you really want to get all of that gooey stuff out of there. Some techs like to do this dry. I've seen at JBL, they'll use a Dremel tool and simply sand all the way around that. I don't like to do it that way. It creates too much dust, metal debris. I just think this is a little bit cleaner way to do it. I get a better effect out of it. Alright, we've gone around it a few times with MEK and the back edge of a knife. We've scraped a lot of that off. I'm going to work at it just a little bit longer. Once we get it down to what this looks like up here, we're going to take a piece of Scotch-Brite, which I didn't show you up front before, and we're going to buff this a little bit with Scotch-Brite. It doesn't have to be down to bare metal, but nice and clean looking. Okay, mission accomplished. We've got it all down to metal. All the little gummies are off. Let it sit for a few minutes. Let the MEK dry. Actually, it dries pretty fast, but it turns the glue into gum, and you want that to dry, and it'll be a little bit easier just to get any remainder off. So, nice and clean, and we're just about ready to go to the next step. You're going to take a few pieces of paper towel, fold them up, and we're going to make wedges. We're going to raise the cone. Be careful, you don't want to stretch it too far, but we're going to raise the cone up a little bit by inserting a little wedge back there. Really all you're trying to do is stabilize the cone. And I think one more for the other side, all around that spider. Now it's nice and stable. Take your new foam, test fit, make sure there's no creases in it, make sure it falls nice and it's not curled up, and we're going to apply glue.